And welcome back to the PD Football Podcast. My name is Presh.
What's up, everybody? My name is Darren.
And how are you doing today?
I'm good. Tired from work, as usual. What about you?
I'm just chilled out, bro. Chilled out and ready to chat about Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Arsenal, the Carabao Cup.
Yes.
That's where we're starting.
Well, we only have two topics today.
Yeah,
well, excuse me. One topic has two matches.
I guess...
it's the Carabao Cup and the January transfer window.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so Carabao Cup is split into two games, right? So the first game I want to speak about in the Carabao Cup is Arsenal versus Chelsea. And Chelsea set up in a 3-5-2, presumably to go man for man with Arsenal's front three and to overload the midfield area so that they can gain control.
Yeah, that would be the assumption.
Right? Arsenal set up pretty much like they usually do, except Kepa in for Raya, Eze in for Odegaard, Madueke in for the injured Saka, and Martinelli in for Trossard, being the main changes. And I guess, like you would say, Jacquet shouldn't be starting. It should be either Havertz or Jesus.
Yeah, that would be my preferred choice of starter. But I think I understand starting Jacquet yesterday, given I don't think Havertz or Jesus are probably fully fit.
All right. So this is one of, if not the most boring game I've watched this season. The person to blame is Liam Rosenio. I often call Arteta a coward for not taking the game to the opposition, so in this case I have to say, Liam Rosenio, you are a coward, and your team is playing cowardly football. Right? His game plan was to sit deep and defend while losing, I might add, and then bring on Estevao, who was on compassionate leave, and Palmer, who his minutes have been managed, on to try get a late goal to take it to extra time, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much their game plan.
If it had worked, people would be calling him a genius, but right now he just looks like a tit, because he wasted 60 minutes of time, which, could have been used spent attacking.
Yeah, I mean, I think they didn't really pressure us. I think also from our perspective, we didn't have to chase the game, so it made sense to kind of conserve energy. I mean, we don't want our players to overexert themselves if there's no need. So I think Chelsea made the game very easy for us. So
I don't think Arsenal would have wanted to play this game. Like you always talking about, you prefer a single
leg, yeah,
instead of double or two legs. So I assume Arteta feels the same way.
Especially, I guess, as the season goes on, because a player getting injured now is going to be more impactful than them getting injured.
Yeah, for the FA Cup, Champions League, etc.
Yeah.
So Liam Rosenio's game plan was flawed from the beginning, but I also disagree with the choice to play Liam Delap on the right-hand side wing. He did absolutely nothing and actually wasted several good opportunities that he had in space. Garnacho should have started because, like I mentioned, Estevao was on compassionate leave. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he flew back to Brazil to be with his family for a while.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I don't want to know about somebody's personal life. That has nothing to do with me.
That's irrelevant.
Yes. That and Palmer, because he's been played a lot. He played 90 minutes against West Ham on the other day. So he wasn't going to start this game. So the only other option I could say is Garnacho, and I understand Garnacho is a left wing. Play João Pedro on the right, play Garnacho on the left, right? That's what I thought he should have done, because Delap didn't contribute anything. There's a second game in a row that I'm mentioning Delap just being useless.
Yeah, I mean, I think even watching the game, I didn't really feel threatened, even with all the possession Chelsea had in the first. Even when they began, I guess you could say, taking the initiative.
Yeah, the last 30 minutes.
It didn't really feel like. Outside of Enzo Fernandez, I think that was the most threatening player.
But even that, those were speculative shots from outside of the box. It wasn't well worked.
Yeah. I'm saying more from a perspective of, I think he was the one who was keeping Chelsea ticking. If there was any player in Chelsea that was playing well.
Sure. Yes, he's the playmaker. Whatever you want to call him, the dictator, the orchestrator. He
also looked a bit frustrated by the way, I guess, Rosinha set up. I think he made a lot of good passes, and I think the momentum broke down because the receiver didn't have many options after that. It's not like he has the athleticism necessarily to always follow his pass.
Like I was saying with Delap, it was actually Enzo was the one who was finding him in space and giving him the opportunity to run at Arsenal's backline, but then Delap couldn't make use of Enzo's passes.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think I think Cucurella was struggling a bit with interpreting when to press and when to, I guess, hang back within the context of, I guess, coming from Maresca, where it was like generally you would know, I guess, more clearly which moments to press and which not to press, whereas it seemed like maybe the back five was something that they probably just practiced in the days leading up to the game. And I felt like Cucurella gave Timber a lot of space, so Timber was able to escape pressure. When Chelsea did create pressure a lot, he kind of dragged the ball out just to like a simple dribble. It really was honestly not a difficult game for Arsenal. I didn't really feel threatened at any point. And
so yeah. As for Arsenal, they did nothing because they didn't need to do anything. In the first half, I was thinking, oh wow, Chelsea's press was working quite well because they kept winning the ball in midfield. But it was actually Arsenal giving the ball away to Chelsea quite a few times.
A lot of sloppy passes, I guess. With Zubimendi, a bit of his first touches let him down. He over-controlled the ball a bit. So
I would also say Rice. And it's not a once-off thing. I've seen this in a few games. Rice struggles to break the lines with his passes.
Yeah, I mean,
especially from deep.
I don't think he's necessarily been a line breaker. It's still something he's developing.
Yeah, not everyone has to do because he plays at 8 now. He doesn't need to do that. But when he plays deeper,
it makes more sense.
It struggles for him. He struggles then to break the lines when he's deeper. But if he's a little bit higher up, he doesn't need to.
I mean, Zubimendi, I guess, is the one who usually comes with the line breakers. So I mean, he's probably. It depends what you're looking for out of in that specific position. I guess Chelsea didn't offer much, so you couldn't really say that the midfield was stretched or the mistakes that were there were taken advantage of. So
it's much more so that they were outnumbered in midfield because they played Caicedo, Andre Santos, and Enzo, who were all in the midfield, versus Rice and Zubimendi because Eze was pushing a bit forward.
Yeah, and I mean Eze was also rotating a lot with the wingers.
So in that sense, you could see why the midfield battle was quote-unquote won by Chelsea, because they just outnumbered them.
Yeah, it was just. I think it was just a matter of numbers, but Chelsea didn't really create numbers in a way where I guess the players were familiar with which patterns to use. No one really outside of Enzo Fernandez, again, it didn't seem like anyone knew how to progress the ball beyond a certain point. They just seemed dead for ideas. It could have been down to Arsenal's structure, but again, I don't think we were that good. Like you said, I don't think we were flawless. It wasn't one of our best defensive displays.
Well, to the end, when they did attack, I did think Arsenal were very resolute in their defending. That again, like that last 20-30 minutes of
when the pressure came on, but then we also threw on our more disciplined players tactically, so that helped us. But again, it's hard to say because I felt like they gave us more in the first leg where we dominated the first half. They came back and I expected them to kind of play how they did in the second half again, and they just didn't put the same I guess numbers up, or whatever the phrase is that I'm looking for.
Yeah, Palmer couldn't find the space he needed when he came on. He looked very frustrated. Not only did he look frustrated, who was it? I think it's Garnacho. He refused to pass to Garnacho. He just, Garnacho was totally open like 3 or 4 times, and Palmer looked up, then looked away.
I mean, from an Arsenal perspective, I'd say that that was probably Hunkape's best game that I've seen him play. And I mean, Esteval's a tricky player. He's obviously still developing, but I think he did well against Esteval when Esteval came on, and I guess so much so that they had to swap Esteval side. But Timber also did well, so I don't necessarily think that Esteval should be the player taking on the responsibility of single-handedly breaking down the best defense in Europe.
Alright. Then I have 2 points I want to make about the corners for Arsenal.
Yeah.
One, Rosenio tried out a new tactic to stop Arsenal's...
Which was Maresca's tactic, of pushing the players up.
I don't say... I've seen Pep do it.
I think Maresca was the first one to do it, though.
Alright,
if I remember correctly.
Just having a bunch of players stay up instead of being in the box, it makes the box less congested.
Yeah, you can't crowd the keeper out as much.
Yes. speaking of which, the second thing is I really saw, because it's so uncrowded now, you can really see Arsenal's tactic is to just fuck with the keeper.
Yeah, to prevent the keeper's movement. But I still think create like my thing is, if the players push up, it creates the option for a short corner. I think Arsenal should use that more, if I would say, going forward.
All right, but you're just kind of glossing over the fact that that's cheating, right? To bump into the keeper.
I don't see it as cheating, because the players are standing still. The onus is on the keeper to move.
I'm much more of a, wow, keepers are too protected. But watching what Saliba was doing to the keeper, not last night, 2 nights ago, I was like a bit of shock. I was like, wow, but Arsenal really take it to the...
I mean, every team pulls and pushes, but I think the thing is, in the moments of blocking the keeper, the person taking the corner, Madueke, waited until Saliba got a run in on the keeper before he took the corner. Yeah, but I mean...
Because João Pedro was like holding him back, and Madueke refused to take it until...
But it's not necessarily cheating if he runs and stops, because the keeper... the onus is on the keeper. It's like, as a defender, you jockey a player. It's their duty to dribble past you or pass the ball. So if Saliba was barging into the keeper and pushing him over, that would be a different story. But our players run and hold they're given a position to run to block the keeper's path, and I guess other teams are supposed to figure that out, how to stop it, because it's within the laws.
Alright, fair enough. So I hope more teams take on this tactic to try and stop Arsenal's corner dominance. But yeah, moving on with the last kick of the game, Havertz scores on a breakaway, and
I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, happy for him, because he clearly hates Chelsea.
Yeah.
They must have treated him very poorly, or he must have had a bad time there, because every time he scores against Chelsea, he looks so happy. I mean, he's kissing the badge. It's
also a thing of, I guess, from the social media angle, at that stage in Chelsea's history, when we bought him and Werner were really getting a lot of abuse online from a lot of Chelsea fans, so I guess he took that personal.
I see. Well, you should take it personally. Yeah. They're being dicks to him, so why not return the favor? I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point to prove, so you've proved it,
Yeah. Do you have any other points you want to make about the Arsenal-Chelsea match? How do you feel going into the final?
I feel confident enough in going into the final. We'll see. I mean, I still think the priority should be the league, obviously, but beating Pep in the final is no easy task. So
definitely
that man is probably how many finals? He's lost 2 finals in his career.
I can only think of one, which is Tuchel, the Chelsea versus Man City final.
And I think he lost the Copa del Rey final to Jose Mourinho once.
Yeah, I don't quote me on that. I have no idea.
No, I think those were his only 2 final defeats. So Pep is a different animal in the final. So let's see. It's
a ruthless winner.
It promises to be an interesting game, but I do have confidence that we can get the better of them.
So we're done with that. Let's move on to Man City versus Newcastle. So City... sorry. We didn't even mention the scoreline for the other one. We just said that.
No, yeah, Arsenal 1-0.
Yes, Arsenal won 1-0 and 4-2 overall in this game. Man City won 3-1 and 5-1 overall.
Yeah.
Right? So I watched the first half of this game last night.
That was all you needed to watch, really.
Yeah, and then I went to bed not because the match was boring, because I was just tired. And yeah, City are 5-0 up. So I was like, alright.
I mean, strangely enough, that looked like that first half performance to me looked like a Jurgen Klopp blow them away type of performance. Particularly the goals that were scored, the way that I guess it's like they don't attack with as many. It's like rapid transitions. The front 3, get the ball to the front 3 and create as much space for them as possible, or let them exploit the space that's there. It's I don't know if that has a lot to do with Pep Lyonders. I don't know how.
It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I don't know how much they want to play that way, if that's Pep Guardiola's way of wanting to play, but it really did look like a a Liverpool performance of old. And they were dominant. It's what you expected, though. Like, I probably did expect this game to be a thrashing, honestly.
I would not take the opposite point of view, but I would just say more so that Newcastle were bad. We said the same, or I said the same thing for the previous game where Liverpool played Newcastle. We just walked all over them. Same thing happened with City. They kind of walked all over them. It's I don't want to give credit to City that
shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that City were incredible. City were over the top impressive. Not really. It was more that Newcastle gave the ball away and allowed themselves to be taken advantage of on transition. I think.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think there were certain things you could see in City that maybe the last 2 games or so haven't been there. I think Rodri is not at his best, so I think having Nico Gonzalez there, he looked a bit better. The dynamics in midfield looked a bit better right now. Obviously, he still has a long way to go to be Rodri at his peak, and obviously Rodri could still conceivably get back to that same level, but I think right now, the fluidity, the rotations look better with Nico Gonzalez. I think Rodri hasn't got back to his athletic peak as yet, so he can't really rotate as much within the structure as Nico Gonzalez, so he kind of has to hold his position, which I think affects the midfield dynamics, especially if they're as reliant on the press as they currently are.
Alright. So, do you have anything else you want to say about the dynamics of the game? Because, like I said, not just that I went to sleep at halftime, it's that I was falling asleep in the first half. So, if you could give us more of a...
It was kind of like, in a weird way, it was like an old school Eddie Howe versus Jurgen Klopp game. Newcastle started well, but I think the problem with Newcastle is always that their play is very, very heavily dependent on their pressing. The minute the opposition settles down and can beat their press regularly, they kind of offer nothing, and they just get opened up time and time again. And that was the dynamic in the first half. City could have had 5, 6 maybe. It was just every time Nico Gonzalez got the ball and pushed it forward, something looked like it was going to happen. Anytime the front 3 got the ball, in particular Semenyo, I guess you could see some deficiencies in his game now that perhaps you couldn't see in Bournemouth. I guess in a way, I would say he has as you've described Salah's deficiencies, which I still rate Salah as one of the greatest players in the history of the league, but I think he has those similar deficiencies where he needs the rest of the front 3. He needs a Firmino type player. I don't think...
I just think he can't take a man on.
Yeah, I mean...
Not can't. It's just he's bad at it.
Yeah, he's very bad at it, but I guess... If he's running into space, if the space is created for him,
yes,
he can use the space.
And that's why he was perfect at Bournemouth, because Bournemouth themselves would generate the space and then...
But it makes sense if they're going to play like how you guys played in the past, because you guys generated the space for Salah the whole time, who wasn't necessarily the best in tight spaces either.
Could be. No, I'm saying it could work out. That's what I mean when I'm saying it could be that it'll work out, but we'll have to see. So let's talk about individual moments. Man City's first goal, they do a quick 1-2 to break Newcastle's press, and then they get a lucky bounce off Marmoush for the goal. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, it was, I guess, a fortunate goal in a sense, but it was coming. City had the momentum they were creating consistently, so it was a deserved goal, if slightly fortunate.
The second goal, Reinders carries the ball, at least from his half, into the final third, passes to Semenyo crosses, and Marmoush heads in.
Oh, yes. I mean, I think Reinders was probably my man of the match overall.
We'll see a pattern. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. You carry on.
Yeah, no, I think... I was just saying, I think Reinders, when the space is there, he's one of the best ball carriers, I think, in Europe. And that came through a lot yesterday, I guess. Right. He was consistently able to go on, like you said, 30-yard runs, 20 runs, but at least 5 or 6 times, I think. So.
Which brings us to the third goal, which was a counter-attack, which... Newcastle lose the ball in the final third. Then Reinders runs from midfield once again to the final third, passes to Semenyo. Semenyo not passes back, but he gets a lucky bounce, and then Reinders finishes it off himself.
Good finish.
Good finish, but what we're seeing is a pattern here of players running through midfield without being challenged. And I saw it these past few weeks with Liverpool, because, not to make everything about Liverpool, but it's a pattern I've seen, because when Konate is not playing, Konate is the guy who will go out and charge at the player, whereas Van Dijk is the one who will lay off. So you need one guy that's going to run up and one guy that's going to lay off. Both centre-backs can't lay off because it's allowing the guy just to run up on you. Or alternatively, a midfielder should be tracking back and tracking the man. And, maybe chopping him down, maybe.
I mean, like Newcastle, they look like a completely different team with Bruno G in the team. Yeah. So I think not having him there was maybe it shows how much of a good player he could be in the right team. I still think I don't know how long he'll stay loyal to Newcastle, but the fact that they're almost always a Champions League or Europa League level team with him in the team, and this couple of weeks or month or so that he's been injured, they've looked like one of the worst teams in the league, honestly.
Yeah. Small note, I'm thinking about keeping Igor Thiago in my fantasy team because they're playing Newcastle this week instead of João Pedro. João Pedro's playing Wolves, and I'm thinking Igor Thiago might fuck up Newcastle so badly that
it makes more sense to go for him.
Yeah, but that's how bad Newcastle are right now. Anyway, for their goal, a moment of brilliance from Anthony Elanga to score the goal to make it 3-1. What did you make of that?
I mean, it was an incredible goal. A bit like reminiscent of, I guess you could say, like Gareth Bale or something, when he used to play off the right wing at Madrid. So it was a good goal. I don't know if Newcastle fans will be happy with the price tag. I know Newcastle fans have pretty much been all over his case since he signed. So
I've seen the quote: worst Newcastle signing in years.
Yeah, I've seen that I saw someone saying it was the worst signing of all time. So
yeah,
I mean, it's the price point, I guess, but like I said, I've never really agreed with taking it out on the player themselves, because the player is still like a human being.
The player didn't pay set the price tag. It's the club that paid it.
Yeah, I mean, just like talking, like we were talking about mental health last week. So as someone who like struggles with mental health disorders, it was like I understand banter, but it's like when you see like things of like calling people useless or like personally attacking them, and their families could be online and friends, it's not something I like to see personally.
Well, I disagree in terms of like, I think giving them fair criticism
criticism is fine.
If I say like, you did this very poorly, I don't think that's off.
That's like holding someone to a standard. But some of the things you've seen is like useless waste of space, things like, I don't think those should be used as descriptions to describe any human being. It's like, if someone doesn't do a job properly working alongside you, you don't motivate them by calling them a waste of space, so true.
It's absolutely correct. But yeah, any other thoughts you have about this game?
No, just completely what I expected. Both games kind of went as you expected. I think the better sides controlled the games different ways. I think Man City naturally attacked, Arsenal controlled the game, but not really exerting themselves, not really giving Chelsea anything. So yeah, let's see. It's good to have a final with the current two best teams in the country.
I would point out City's lack of shots on target in second halves. The prior two games, they didn't have a shot on target in the second half. So the game against Spurs
and I mean, if you couple that with the fact that they concede a high amount of like clear-cut chances in a lot of games.
Yeah, I wonder if Pep Lijnders' very high-intensity type of football is tiring them out badly.
Yeah, I don't think this squad have played in that way before, so it's I don't know, you would know better. What was it like? What was the first season like? Was there a difference when Pep Lijnders came in as opposed to before him?
I don't think so, because we were already gegenpressing and like high intensity football already for about 3 years before he came in. The former guy, I forget his name was Buvak.
Yeah.
Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember much, but you can update me on.
No, he was just a guy with like a very weird hairstyle that used to sit next to Klopp.
I remember him. I didn't know his name.
He used to sit next to Klopp, and apparently he was the brain. And but yeah, after he left, he won the Champions League. So
but
can't have been that smart.
I guess. What is the brain? People always say that the people behind Ancelotti were the brains, but I think the man management aspect of football is the most important. Anyone can lay a message to someone, but to get that message across to a group of players and motivate them to play well, that's the most difficult thing in coaching.
Well, apparently Klopp was really bad at tactics, and Buvak was the tactical guy, and same with Leiders. Leiders is the tactical guy. Klopp was just a bad manager.
That's what people used to. Obviously, now we're going back in time, so he ended up having a failed managerial career. But that's what people used to say about Alex Ferguson's assistant, Alex McLeish, I think. That he was the brains behind Opera, but he turned out to be a horrible coach when he went on his own. So.
Well, same thing. Leidner failed in, where did he fail? In Austria.
Yeah, with the Salzburg.
Yeah, Red Bull. So, just because you're tactical doesn't mean you have the bad management skills to dictate.
Oh yeah, one thing I did notice in the City game though was that I think at some point Pep structured them in a 4-2-2-2. So I don't know if this is if De Zerbi's influence is as you wanted. Maybe it's seeping into other coaches. Maybe it's seeping into people who can actually execute the football to the standard you wish.
Yeah. Okay. I don't appreciate that slight slander at De Zerbi, but...
No, I mean...
Alright. No, I get your point.
I have the same problem with Spalletti. I'm hoping Spalletti is one day going to prove himself. But so far, his defensive... He
already proved himself. He won Serie A with Napoli, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, but in terms of... the same way you're saying with De Zerbi maybe going on in the Champions League or going to produce a great side. I really do think Spalletti is the manager that excites me the most after Pep.
So are we done here? Do you have any other points you want to make about the City game?
I mean, not really. I think I was just curious as to maybe see what do you think the future of Doku is with Semenyo there?
Well, actually, I will bring that up right now.
Oh, okay.
Not right now, but soon.
Oh, okay.
We'll put a put in there.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, then we can go on.
So let's move on to the transfer news. Not transfer news, the transfer window segment, right? So
I didn't keep up with much of the deal, so I'll go with what you've told me as.
So my initial thought was to go team by team and judge their transfer window. I got until Bournemouth when I realized that this was a bad idea. I'm simply not qualified to judge if Alex Toth from Ferencváros is a good transfer or not.
Yeah, that's
I don't watch the Hungarian league, right? So I thought we should go through a selection of transfers that I can express an opinion about. I assume similar because these are all intra-league transfers. Intra-league transfers, as you know, between other Premier League teams or players we know.
Big
right?
money signings.
So all transfer fees are given in pounds. So if you maybe have the euro number in your head, that's the reason there's a discrepancy here, right? So first transfer, Tammy Abraham going from Besiktas to Aston Villa for 18.2 million. So first, I recognize that Villa need attacking reinforcements, but I just don't think he's good enough even as a backup.
What is Tammy Abraham's age right now?
He's 28.
Okay, I don't think it depends who's the first choice, if he's good as a backup or not. Because I'm sure they're going to move Watkins on. So it depends if it's a long-term signing, but yeah, I don't feel it much either.
Villa wants to be a Champions League level club. And in my opinion, he's a Conference League level player at best. So
he's done well in the Europa League. I'd say he's a Europa player.
Yeah, we can disagree. Can agree to disagree. I just think this is a bad transfer. Especially since he was playing for Besiktas.
I think the Unai Emery tried to sign him at Arsenal, so I don't know if it's something...
the one that got away.
The one that got away, maybe. Maybe he sees something he can do with him. So.
Okay. Next, Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth to Man City for 64 million.
This is probably the most controversial one because he's played well so far. But I don't necessarily think it was what City needed right now.
So I think Semenyo is better than both Doku and Savinho in terms of output. And walk straight into their team.
Yeah.
Doku is a much better dribbler and 1v1 attacker.
Do you think Semenyo elevates the team right now in terms of? I think the problems that were making them the most, glaring problems are still there.
Which are?
Blocking defensive transitions, especially, or keeping control of a game through the holding midfield, I guess, since Rodri's injury.
I would argue that there's more problems. And one of those problems is they're very reliant on Haaland for goals. And since his goals have dried up at the moment, he's not playing very well. They've had a goal drought. And I think a winger who can contribute goals is very useful in alleviating that problem, because all the other wingers, except Cherki, doesn't even like score goals. Cherki is more of a creator, right?
But I mean, okay, no, you can finish quickly. Yeah.
No, you carry on.
No, I'm saying, wouldn't then, based on the argument you're making, wouldn't Semenyo, because we were talking, I guess, earlier about how he's like kind of a Salah type of player, and I'd say Salah and Haaland are similar. Like, they need their teammates to open the pitch for them. So
no, but I'm saying Haaland is getting chances. He's just not finishing them off.
Yeah, no, but
so if Semenyo gets chances, he
will finish them off. But then it could be a point in the future where you face the same problem, where, like you say, if the midfield is not dominating enough, if they're not getting enough chances from the midfield or the fullbacks, depending how you go about creating chances.
All right, let's ignore the rest of City's problems. Let's just say, in a vacuum, he's better than all the other wingers currently. He's 26, which is the beginning of his prime. He can play on either wing, so he's very versatile, and then they got him for a good fee. So if you look at that, I think it's a pretty good transfer.
It is a good transfer. I think overall, I don't think like you said, with Haaland in the team, are they going to drop him? Because I think both of them together might affect the dynamics a bit, because like you said, the third winger is going to have to do a lot of off the ball work and a lot of occupying space and creating chances, because I feel like Cherki should have more responsibility on the ball, and he can't really do that when the thing is to try create as much space as you can for Semenyo and Haaland. And then that it's like you said, if Haaland is missing the chances but they're only falling to him, that becomes a problem if you have Haaland and Semenyo, who are both going to run in behind constantly.
Our next transfer is Pascal Gross from Borussia Dortmund to Brighton for 1.2 million.
I mean, he's a Brighton legend at this point.
Yeah. So I'm usually very suspect of deals for somebody over the age of 30. We had this conversation before we started doing the podcast. When I say before we started doing the podcast, I don't mean like an hour ago. I mean like before the podcast.
Since we've been friends.
We've been talking about longevity in players, right? And I think Pascal Gross has all the signs of being a player that can play till he's like 38, maybe even 40. Why is that? Because he's not particularly quick or physical. His game is mainly about technique.
And intelligence, I think.
And intelligence, yes, right? I'd say he's less talented, but in the same kind of profile as Luka Modric. Right, getting him in for a little over $1 million is good business in my eyes.
And I think he's a Brighton legend, so it's like I guess they're in like a bit of a, I don't know what the term is, but like a period, like a transition period where they've come out of like being a European level club and now they're sitting in mid-table. So it's like nostalgia can be good, you know. Like I think when Arsenal signed back Thierry Henry for 6 months, the club was in doom and gloom at the time, and for a little while everyone felt better, you know. So it's a good signing for me for Brighton to get back a club legend, cheap price. He wasn't playing much, so
yeah. Next we have Jorgen Strand Larsen from Wolves to Crystal Palace for 48 million. Last season he had 14 goals and 4 assists. This season he has 1 goal and 1 assist. So
I mean, Wolves have been atrocious. So.
Yeah, so I think they're more looking at his previous record, for future outcomes instead of this season, because they view it as an outlier.
I mean, yeah, it could be. Last season he was very good. I think he has a very much a traditional striker profile. Maybe like he's a bit of a throwback, old school number 9. So I liked him last season. When we played Wolves this season, he was very good. Like he gave us a lot of problems. So I think it's a good signing. Like 48 million. It's I don't think it's what Crystal Palace need right now. And given that everything that's happening with that club off the pitch, it's like I don't think they should have thrown that much at a signing without being sure of how they're going to go forward.
Yeah, I would say 14 goals last season, plus the fact that he's 25, makes 48 million look like a reasonable fee. He's obviously not the finished article, but Palace will be hoping that Glasner and whoever the future coach is will coach him into being a top striker.
It's crazy that we've, just as a side note, got to the days where
48 million is like
a reasonable fee for a team like Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? 10 million more 20 years ago, 25 years ago got you Kaká and Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah. I was going to say 50 million is what we sold Torres to Chelsea for.
And that was like one of the rip-offs of the century at the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good transfer. Any other thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good transfer as well. I think it depends, though. Like, what's Crystal Palace's direction? Are they going to play the type of football that suits him? Because if they get in a coach that doesn't play to his strengths, it could also be a big knock for a club like that. So time will tell.
Okay, I didn't write this down, but I would say also the other side of this transfer is that Jean-Philippe Paqueta was supposed to leave Crystal Palace. But
he tried everything he could.
His transfer fell through. So now both he and Strand Larsen are both strikers at Palace. And it's unclear how they're going to move forward.
Well, I mean, it's like weird. They both in a way remind me of Giroud. They're very similar to like a Giroud type of player. So I don't think either of them are going to necessarily be world-class players, but I do think at a club like Crystal Palace they can elevate a team. Like, I would take Mateta as a backup. I really liked him last season. I thought, like, when we played him in the games I watched him against Man City, against you guys, he seemed very threatening. And at the start of the season when he did start.
He's 29 years old.
Yeah, that's the thing. Giroud went to Chelsea at 31, helped them win the Champions League.
Fair enough. Did he?
Yeah.
Are you sure it really come?
No, he came after they won the Champions League, you're right. Sorry, I was getting him confused with David Luiz.
Okay, whatever the case is, our next story or next transfer is Brennan Johnson from Spurs to Crystal Palace for 35 million. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't fully understand the signing from Crystal Palace or Tottenham side, because I think he was one of Tottenham's only outlets for pace. I think when I watched them against Man City, they kind of did lack that like electric pace. Even if he wasn't the best player, I think mid-season, especially as a club that's going to defend deep a lot, I don't think it would have made sense to get rid of him. And I don't think it makes sense for Crystal Palace to sign him.
I just don't think he's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't think he's a good player.
That's all that there is to it. Not even Palace level worthy. I don't think he's a Premier League level player. The thing is, he has scored in the Europa League final. He has a lot of high-profile goals next to his name, so it looks like I'm talking shit when I, say that. But with all due respect, I just don't think he's at the level for even Palace. He should be like at a Wolves, maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, I can understand Tottenham's point of view for taking the money. Like, obviously, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, I think, what's the trade-off? Because, like, I feel like they're going to struggle a lot till the end of the season, because he might not have been the best player, but again, he was the outlet that helped them escape pressure. When I think they're facing so much pressure, how long can that continue for the rest of the season?
But does he play over Ismail Assar or Jeremy Pino?
No, I don't think so. But I don't think Pino will be there much longer.
All right. Next, we have Evann Guessand from Aston Villa to Crystal Palace on loan.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch much of Guessand, so I'll let you...
I've only watched him a handful of times, but in those times I thought, he looks like he's one of those long-legged players, like a Pogba type. Don't take that as me comparing him to Pogba. I'm just saying his his body type looks the same. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've only watched him about 3-4 times. He has potential, and Aston Villa don't want him, so Palace actually wanted to sign him before Aston Villa came in and gazumped them to the signing.
But then what would you make of Crystal Palace's approach? Like, how are they building a squad with... Maybe they have their next manager in mind. It's been signed behind the scenes, but why would they keep Glasner there if, it doesn't make sense, everything that's happening and the transfer policy in relation to that. So what do you think?
I think a club shouldn't rely on a manager. I think the director of football should understand, okay, this is the way we play.
Yeah.
We play an attacking brand of football. Once my manager goes, I'm going to bring in another attacking manager. I'm not going to go from attacking manager to a defending manager. Right? The director of football should be choosing the players. I understand that there should be some input from the manager, but it should be 60% director of football, 40% manager, in my opinion.
But I mean, in this situation where the manager, you've been outspoken about Slot disrespecting Liverpool. So
yes.
In a situation where the manager comes out and disrespects the club, shouldn't the director of football then be okay, even if we have to go with the academy coach, let's let's move this guy out and get in someone else. Whether the signings are for the next coach or not, I understand that the transfer policy, perhaps they're signing players based on what they want, but I think they are like based on the future. But it's hard to say because it seems like a lot of the players, they're still contextualizing within this current system.
Okay, aside from that, Guessand is on loan. Strand Larsen is 25, so he can still be sold on in like 2 years for a very good fee.
Yeah.
The only one I think is Brennan Johnson. I don't think they can con somebody
Yeah, and then I guess
to get a good fee from. But the others, I believe, are just good signings in that they can be moved on later on for a bigger fee. Yes. Yeah. Not a bigger fee, but a reasonable fee to recoup what they've spent.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just...
If they were spending, like, if they had bought Paqueta, age 29, for 50 million, I would be suspect. Because that's a, if he doesn't work out, then how do you move him on? You're going to get a very low fee for him.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you're getting, I think if you're getting like one of the absolute best players in the world, it makes sense to go for a 28 or 29-year-old.
All right. Our next transfer, Marc Guehi from Palace to Man City for 20 million.
Yeah, that would be the signing of the window for me. The price point, I mean, I don't know what his wages are. I heard they're very high, so maybe...
the rumor I've heard is that they're close to 300,000.
Okay, that's ridiculous. Like for anyone, like I mean,
he's in the top 3 earners at City.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I think they're getting one of the best defenders in the league for 20 million. So it kind of evens itself out.
Well, we've kind of spoken about this on the podcast before, but just to reiterate what I've said in the past. One, he played in a back 3 at Palace. I don't know how that's going to translate into a back 4. I'm not saying he can't be very good in a back 4. I'm just saying we haven't seen it. So, once I see it, then I can believe it.
Yeah.
Two, he's apparently homophobic because he wrote on the, what's it called? The rainbow armband, Jesus loves you, or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Implying that... that there's something wrong and Jesus loves you because there's something wrong. But whatever the case is, that's the reasons I didn't want him to come to Liverpool. So going to City, fair enough. Hope they enjoy him. I think it's a good signing on paper, but we'll see. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see how it pans out.
Yes.
I guess
he's a ball player, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a ball-playing centre-back, I should say. Yeah. So I think he would be the John Stones replacement, long-term.
I guess in an ideological sense, if they were going to move Stones on, that...
Well, I mean, he's going to retire soon. He's like in his 30s.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he probably has another season or two in the Man City team. So my question is that I always thought that Vardio was gonna... I didn't see him as a fullback forever because I think he's one of the best centre-back profiles in the world. So signing 2 of the best profiles in that position at the same time, I think that would be a critique if you're planning on turning Vardio into a left back. I don't think that's... I think you lose a lot from him in that sense, and I think he has a higher ceiling than Guehi at centre back. So I don't know how they'll work around that.
Our next transfer is Oscar Bobb from Man City to Fulham for 27 million.
I like Oscar Bobb.
I love Oscar Bobb.
I would have said... when I found out he was for sale, I thought obviously they're not going to sell to us, but
I would have
wanted him. Yeah, I would have
top player. It's just when I saw his first couple of games, and I was just immediately taken by him. And then after about 3-4 games, he breaks his leg, and then he takes a long time to get back. And when he does, he's just not the same player.
I mean, what is the patience level a coach has with the player? Obviously, at Man City, you can't really have that level of patience to allow him to develop. But we saw with Aaron Ramsey, he eventually he hit his potential after all these injuries.
I'm a big fan of sale, but with a buyback.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I like those conditions
because you can go off and develop. If you develop good, we'll get you back. If not, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, he falls into the same bracket as Smith Rowe. Like when he signed for Fulham, I think it's like top player, but the injury record, the way the team is performing, it makes sense for him to go somewhere
like a Fulham
where he can develop better. What do you think? Marco Silva's the right coach to develop him?
No. Unfortunately, I don't remember a winger that he's improved at all. Can you think of somebody?
No, I don't.
Like, he gets a lot out of like workman like wingers, not the exciting,
Yeah.
really fast, tricky wingers. That's not who he prefers. Like, I remember him having Willian and somebody else on the other wing that was like very boring.
Yeah.
So that's just not him, I don't think.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But I think Fulham is a good club to develop because he will get a lot of game time.
Okay. Conor Gallagher from Atletico Madrid to Spurs for 34 million.
I don't like Conor Gallagher, but at the same time, I kind of understand the signing from Tottenham's standpoint, given that they really don't have a ball winner.
I hate players like this. No offense, but
it's cheap. It's not expensive.
I just think he's like Jordan Henderson. He's a guy who's gonna work hard, run, get the ball, and he just doesn't have technique. He doesn't have that,
But it makes sense for Tottenham right now.
the stuff that attracts you to football, like beautiful football. That's not Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, it's not. But he did well against Man City. So
he did do very well, but that's what I'm saying. He's very workmanlike, very doing the hard yards.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't know. A lot of people will be like, "How are you saying that's a negative?" But to me, I believe that you can have a player that does the hard yards and has technique. For example, Szoboszlai. For years and years and years, they told me we couldn't upgrade on Henderson, and I said, yes, we can. And finally, Szoboszlai came along, and I said, here we go. He runs his socks off every game, but he still has technique. And that's possible for every team. I don't believe that, teams should be forced into playing players that do the hard yards and don't have technique. I just don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you look at it, because I think what's the most accessible for a club like Tottenham? Because I think a player who's that complete is usually going to cost a lot of money, and are they going to want to go to Tottenham?
That's true. That's true. You caught me there.
Because that's the thing. Like, if it was Tottenham, maybe in the Pochettino days, the signing wouldn't have made sense, because you're trying to elevate a midfield.
Yeah.
That was already one of the best in Europe at that time. So it's like now you're coming into a midfield where arguably the best midfielder right now is. Well. I mean, I think Bergwijn would probably.
Yeah, I was
be the
gonna
best,
say, but for me, it's like the two guys with potential. Or the biggest ceiling in my mind is Archie Gray and Bergwijn. Yeah.
But now Archie Gray is being played at right back. He's been played in holding midfield.
Gray has been messed
dropped
around.
Into
it's
left
very
back.
Unfortunate. Because he was like when he came up from the championship, I mean, he didn't come up as in got promoted. He was bought from the championship. I mean, when he came up, he was like touted as this very good defensive midfielder that can play the ball from deep, like an Adam Wharton type.
Yeah.
So
he came up with the same kind of reputation as like Calvin Phillips, I guess.
Yeah. So imagine having that profile in your team and just misusing him, totally misusing him. It would just be a damn shame, in my opinion, which is what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think slotting into that midfield, maybe like where you have someone like Bergwijn who you need to get more out of. Right now, I think it's a good signing for them. I'd still put it in the good signing thing, because I think what he showed against Man City is that he can win the ball, and if he's tactically disciplined enough to just lay it off, like you said, your problem with Henderson was that he took on too much responsibility, and you try absurd things, or he'd overhit the ball one-on-one. Like, I think with a player like that, you perhaps the way you guys opened up the pitch to Henderson meant that the decisions he had to make were a lot more out of his skill range. I think for now, if you can limit Conor Gallagher's influence to just winning the ball back and moving it on, he can elevate Tottenham for me. And I'd say he's a good signing right now in the context.
Yeah, fine. Lucas Paqueta from West Ham to Flamengo for 36.5 million.
I've watched a lot of Flamengo last season. I like Felipe Luis. I like his approach to football. He has a very much a throwback approach. It's like weird because he came out of like playing from Simeone, but he seems to be playing in a very similar. When I watch his interviews, when I see him talk, he's really trying to. He's studied Saki a lot. I think that's the implement. Like he's trying to bring the same tactics back, bring like a more old school version of high pressing. So I can understand Paqueta's, maybe he's thinking about the national team, maybe he's thinking about playing in those dynamics, maybe he's homesick, but I would have taken him at Arsenal.
Right. I wonder if this ruins his World Cup chances or improves them. Do you think?
I think it improves them because I think that I don't know with Ancelotti because I don't know how he'll select a squad. Yeah. But I followed the Brazilian team quite closely, and generally
they prefer within their league.
No, but Flamengo's players have had, so long as Felipe Luis has been there, they've had 7 or 8 players in the national team.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So yeah, I do think it could increase his chances because playing at West Ham, he's going to look shit right now.
Good. Well, he actually looked like the best out of a bad bunch.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of how is he gonna, I guess, force the issue of himself getting in above?
He's actually already gotten a yellow card in Flamengo.
Oh, I wonder who bet on him.
Yeah, I wonder who benefited. Right.
Him. He bet on himself.
Yeah. This last story or the last transfer, I didn't write down, but it's in my head. Jeremy Jacquet from, I think, Lille for 55 million to Liverpool. Thoughts?
I mean, I've read a lot about him. I watched Lille maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago. I don't think he was there yet, but I've heard him. A lot of people say he profiles similarly to Lenny Yoro. So I think I do rate Lenny Yoro's profile. I really like a lot of what he has. He obviously has to develop. Whether Man United was the right decision, who knows? But his other option is Real Madrid, which is just as toxic right now. So I would have liked to see him and Huijsen next to each other, though. I think that the idea of them together is a very good back four. So I think Jacquet could work out if he profiles similarly to Euro. It just depends. Is he the Van Dijk replacement? Because I guess Van Dijk, he kind of exudes control, composure, and what I've heard about Jacquet is that he's a bit rash, just like Euro. He has to tame it down a bit. So what do you think of it?
So the reason I brought this up was not to talk about Jacquet.
No, to talk about Slot.
To talk about Liverpool. Yes, to an extent, Slot, because I think they've left him short-handed. We've been speaking on this podcast the past couple of weeks about Liverpool need a defensive signing. Gomez is injured. Conor Bradley's injured. Frimpong is injured. Konate was on compassionate leave. We're in a very bad place. We have like 3 defenders and 2 of them are left backs. It's not the best spot to be in. We needed a defender in this window, if at all possible. Jacquet is only joining us in June, July, where, the next transfer.
It's a signing for the future.
Yes. So it's good that we're planning for the future. We got a young up-and-coming player that's, looking very good. But what about this season? We're just throwing this season in the bin. It's
They're writing it off.
The league is already done. I can accept that now. But we still need to finish top 4, top 5 to get into the Champions League. And the way things are looking, it's like we need all the help that we can to get there, right? So
I mean, what would you think? It's like maybe they've had a discussion with Slot and they've decided
okay. I was getting angry at Slot because we have a player. His name is Calvin Ramsey, who's our quote-unquote backup right back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was actually bought in as Trent's right back like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's never seen the pitch, not once.
I haven't even heard of him, to be honest.
He's been on our bench the entire season, and Slot sold him this window. Or he got loaned out this window. So we actually had a backup right back that left as well.
How bad do you have to be to not be given a single minute? Not that he's bad in that sense, but I mean, maybe it's like...
is Slot so caught up in his ways? Because he refused to give Keza minutes, and we know Keza is good. He refused to give... Okay, Endo's not good, but he refuses to give Endo any minutes unless it's like emergency.
When did you guys sign this guy?
Calvin Ramsey.
Yeah.
Like I said, 4 years ago.
Yes, I mean, but that means he's gone over 2 coaches and hasn't got any game time. So
yeah,
they must be seeing something in training. Maybe he looked good when they signed him, then they said in training, this guy he's going to create a lot of problems if we throw him on the pitch,
Whatever the case is, he's just been here for so long and he's just never gotten a chance. So, yeah, So
more Szoboszlai right back shifts on the way.
Yes, unfortunately. So this is what... I'm using this opportunity to point out that Liverpool should have made signings. At least one defensive signing, if not more. And it's very disappointing to see how they've thrown the season away. But yeah,
I mean, maybe they're thinking they still have enough. Because I mean, right now you're also going to pay over market value. So maybe they're saying we have enough to get into top 4. go as deep as we can in the Champions League, and then blow the budget in the off-season again like you did last season.
Say we paid 20 million over the top for a player. A player costs 40 million, but we're paying a premium that costs 60 million. We're going to get like 120 million to play in the Champions League.
But what's the guarantee that that player would necessarily, like you said, if you're missing so many players, it's practically an injury crisis. You were only going to sign one player, probably, maybe two.
Yes.
If you like, you also would have to consider the future of those players. Like you said, you'd have to.
Okay, get them in on loan. It doesn't matter. Do something.
Yeah.
To do nothing is to accept your situation, which is bad.
I think they're thinking they're still gonna make top 4. That's the board's like, let's save the money till the off season. We're probably gonna get in the top 4 anyway.
Well, they're in for a rude awakening if things carry on going as they're going.
I think you guys might have enough, in my opinion.
Might. You see, it should not be down to might. The amount of resources that at our disposal, it shouldn't be a question of we might make top 4 or not.
I'm just, obviously you can't be 100% sure of anything.
No, okay, sorry, I don't want to jump on you saying might, but I'm saying it is a question of whether we make it or not, and it shouldn't be a question. We should be top 4 every year with the resources we've invested, with the players we have, with the talent at our disposal. It's not right that we're not in the top 4.
I think they're looking at it like the squad is going to balance itself out. I think in the course of the season, I've looked at, I think you guys have maybe the best chance of, being the team to get the 3rd spot, in my opinion, because I think Aston Villa are going to fade away in terms of, I'm just saying, I think as the season gets stretched, the size of their squad is going to tell. It's not a personal thing, even though
what about Man United?
Yeah, I think you guys and Man United will take those spots. I don't see Chelsea being consistent enough defensively, especially to compete. I think the expectation of you guys is so high that obviously last season you guys were one of the best teams in the world. So it's the fall off is now appearing more significant because it's people are saying that last season we were the best team in the world. So
you're saying the table was lying and we should have been 2nd or 3rd last year. Can I just let me just work this out to see if you agree. So we should have finished maybe 2nd or 3rd last year. So us finishing 5th, going from 3rd to 5th isn't the shock that going from 1st to 5th is.
Yeah. No, that's not what I'm saying. I think it is a disappointing season. I think if they've had a board meeting internally, they've discussed that. But I think they've discussed it okay, let's plan around the summer. Maybe Slot's going to be here, maybe he's not. That's what they're thinking. So I think they're saying, whether he's here or not, let's keep the budget for the off season, because I think we're going to have enough to finish in the top 3 or 4 this season. And I think you guys will, honestly.
Alright, well, I think we're done here. Do you have any other transfers you want to bring up?
No, I think those were the main ones. If anything else did occur, I guess I was as an Arsenal fan, I was happy to see Waneri go to Marseille, but then De Zerbi left. Or it looks
did he leave, or did he threaten to leave?
Yeah, I think there was a threat, or I saw something about he might be about to leave, or he's getting sacked soon. I don't know if it was confirmed, but I'm happy if De Zerbi stays for, I think Waneri, De Zerbi's very good at developing teams, creativity especially, so hopefully by the time we get him back, he can save us a bit of money on maybe going out and buying a expensive player.
Alright, well, thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, give a like, etc.
Comment, tell your friends.
Importantly, it needs to be a 5-star review. You can find all our links at pdfootball.com. That's pdfootball.com. Please tell a friend, tell that friend to tell a friend, tell a family member. Yeah, goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
Every week you hate the listeners.